Who thinks about us that much? We just live rent free in everyone's head. We're just massive.
Not mine. Oh, they're second biggest fans in Scotland, aren't you?
Fuck
Wow.
off.
Anyway, that was Fancy Fives. So now we're going to do our way too early Premier League predictions. Um,
Right, who's going first?
that's a good
I'm going
point.
to write yours down next to mine as you say them, so I can compare who I've got
That's
where.
all right. I've got Jim. Don't worry. I've got my old spreadsheet ready.
You brought
Of course you
spreadsheets
have.
out. Wow,
Well, I've
this
got
is
a spreadsheet for everything.
professional. So
Diaka.
we're actually going to keep
Right,
track of these.
do you want to hear my 20 to 1?
You're 20 to 1. What
Oh,
about
you're going back to
we go
20.
from bottom to top.
Yeah.
We do a bottom three first. So it's just sort of layer it a bit
So all
rather
three of
than
us do our bottom three. Okay, all right. Right, I'll give you my bottom three.
Yeah.
Right,
From
dead
20th
last.
to 19th, 18th. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, bottom
dead
three
last.
first.
Yeah, that is what bottom three is. Right, bottom of the league, have an absolute sting. I think they're going to do this very similar to Saints last season. Wolves, dead last.
Oh, big
Wow.
cool. Big cool that.
Yeah, they're going to have a stinker. Watch this space. I just don't see what they've got. And then I've got another controversial one that I don't think either of you are going to like, but they've had their time. They've got a stinker of a stadium, and it's not the team that you're thinking of. It's Brentford.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
some
that's
that's
my bottom three.
almost an oppressively bad take, I reckon. Brentford, really?
Moneyball's got to fall down at some point. Moneyball's got to fail at some point, and Tony's out till Christmas and beyond. So yeah,
Wow.
That's
yeah,
huge, mate. That's a
that is my
massive call.
that is my only stinker. To be fair, Everton, Bournemouth could sneak in,
Sorry,
but
what?
I hope with all my heart Brentford go down because they
Sorry,
are a League One club at best.
sorry. You're admitting it now. It's a stinker.
Wow.
Jim,
Sorry,
you're admitting it
No, I
now.
tell
It's a
you what, I think it's
stinker.
actually got potential.
I don't think it's a stinker. No, I
You
think
said
they
it was
are
that.
I think they are a
You said that's my only
stinker of a
stinker.
club. Oh, I meant like controversial pick. That's my only one that could be perceived as a stinker.
Oh right, yeah. I'd go with that as I think ballsy calls though to have them in the bottom two.
Bottom three. Bottom three.
I missed the third one. Sorry, who was that?
Wolves are
Do you
dead
know what?
last. Wolves are
I
last.
don't
Luton
I
next.
don't think you're a million miles away with that.
They're definitely not going to have a good season.
No.
Like at some point, just
Right.
buying random Scandinavian blokes has got to fall down. And
What was it your
Haven't they just signed Nathan Collins for like 30 million? That is terrible business. That's atrocious business.
Oh, I do
yeah.
agree. It's not the best signing, is it?
I I don't understand it at all for that. I mean, he's not a bad centre back, but for that money, I don't.
I don't know.
Hasn't every team he's played for got relegated or had like a shocking season? Burnley
Well,
went down. Where was he last season? Wolves
Wolves.
didn't play very well last season. Like he's never had. I don't know. Yeah, strange
I don't know.
business.
I think he's got potential. He's a good young Irish player. You know, you can't be fantastic when
He's
you've
not
got a load of
30
crap around
million,
you.
and I don't understand.
I appreciate.
It's the fact Brentford don't usually spend big money, and that's the bloke they've chosen to fork out for. Just surprised me as
Especially
well.
when they need a striker.
Yeah, right. Their whole thing. I just hope they go down. Them and Bournemouth, if they go down,
You
them
hope they
Bournemouth
go
and
down.
Everton, I hope go down.
You
Yeah.
hope they go down.
One of these football pure. I hate small teams. No, I love small teams in the Prem for a year or two.
You
And I
know,
hate when they start expecting bigger things. When clubs like Bournemouth and Brentford start looking at Europe, get in the bin. Just go back to League One. I hate it. I actually despise it. I'm really passionate about it. But
Oh
everyone
my
in my
god!
course takes a piss out of me because I really hate small teams in the Prem.
but
I'm
Brentford and
sure they hate you,
Brighton,
Jim.
get in the bin. Panenka
Brentford, but
Podcast
Bournemouth as
said,
well.
Brighton Football
Bournemouth.
Club, Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club, get in the bin.
Brighton, no, Brighton I don't hate so much, but Bournemouth and Brentford, big time. Fuck off.
All right, Fez, can you bring any sanity to this?
Uh, Not really. I will be honest, because
I was going to say, I think Brentford's more of an emotional pick for me, but anyway.
because one of my bottom three teams is on the back of some news that I read this morning about Alexander Mitrovic.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it. I said this last season. I don't see where the quality is in Fulham's squad. I don't get it. We did a 1 to 11
Anyway,
because people were saying Fulham have a stronger squad than Saints last season. I still think Saints had a stronger squad.
so from 20th to 18th, I've got Luton Town, bottom. Then
Yeah,
I've got a Fulham, and then I've got Wolves.
yeah,
Ooh.
I'm
I'm
happy
not
with that.
confident in Fulham. I don't think Fulham particularly have a great squad. Obviously, I saw that Mitrovic has said to Fulham he's not playing for them again. I know Marco Silva wants to leave as well to go to
Yeah, he's
Saudi
going to Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia. Isn't some bloke off to West Ham as well?
Yeah, that the centre mid, the young
Palinia.
player, he was really good last season. That's the one.
And Manor Solomon's gone off to Tottenham as well.
Yeah,
And
like
he looked
Yeah,
Sullivan.
seriously good last year.
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, I know they've just signed Willian again, but he was only mediocre last season.
Have they? I thought William went somewhere else.
No, he signed for Fulham.
Okay.
I can hear you typing away on your computer there.
You've
Yeah, he
let's
has
research it.
rejoined. He has rejoined.
Oh, right.
I had to confirm. Yeah, I don't hate your picks, to be honest. I think they're okay. Yeah.
Fraser, what are your bottom three?
My bottom three. I thought I was going quite pragmatic with this, but I've listened to you boys that do it, and maybe I've gone to maybe I've not gone safe enough. So in 20th place, I have Sheffield United.
I think they're going to have an all right season.
In 19th, Luton Town. And in
Okay.
18th,
Yeah.
I've gone second season syndrome, Nottingham Forest.
I don't hate any of that. I would be
No,
surprised if Sheffield United came rock bottom though. That would surprise me, but I wouldn't be shocked if they got relegated. And I actually think Forest. I think they're just going to stay the same. I mean, I can't see them going backwards, and I can't see them going forwards.
So, would it be fair to say that this is the most open relegation battle we've seen in the Premier League in a number of years?
Yeah, I think there's
it's
like
definitely up
11,
there.
12 teams that could go down, and I wouldn't be
You know,
shocked at all.
I thought last season was tight, but I think anyone from, in my Prem prediction anyway, anyone from table 10th possibly down, because I think there's at least 9 clubs who are definitely certified to stay up this season.
Yeah, there's
Obviously,
8
I know
that I
nothing's
think
guaranteed.
cannot go down. Yeah,
See,
Yeah, but there's 8 clubs there.
I've got the number at 12 teams that can't go down. But I think
no, any of my bottom 10 could go down. Any of
really,
them.
so
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get onto that in a minute. But I'm looking at teams in my bottom 10. I can't see 2 or 3 of them going down, but I can see. Yeah, I can see it as being similar to last year, but going a bit further on because there's so many teams that are similar, and we've got an unknown quantity in Burnley, which I think we're all going to discuss later, which could finish
yeah.
anywhere, literally anywhere in the league,
I
other than
mean,
top 7. Yeah,
anywhere up to about 8th, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd go with that because they're
so
simply
anyway,
an unknown quantity.
me and Jimmy said there's 8 guaranteed spots. So Fraser, you said there's 10. Place your top 8.
My top 8,
Your top 8.
I'll give you my top 7 as that's what we agreed earlier. As a So, I don't think it's
Go
any
bottom to top.
bottom to top. Right, okay.
Yeah. So 7th to
Well,
first.
you picked that up. When I said I don't think there's any, you immediately assumed, yeah, I think we've all got the same first then.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in 8th place, Aston Villa, I've got. 7th place, Brighton. In 6th, I've got Newcastle. Slightly worried about their squad depth in their first season in Europe. 5th, I have Manchester United. 4th, Tottenham Hotspur. 3rd, I've got the Gunners. And 2nd, Liverpool. And of course, I think we've all got this, City at number 1.
So Chelsea aren't coming top 8 for you?
As I've got this now, and it's nothing to do with the fact I forgot Chelsea were in the Prem until doing this list and got to 9. Chelsea I'm backing it. I'm backing it. Chelsea don't make my top 7, but I fully appreciate that Brighton and Villa will be stretched by Europe but to what extent I don't know yet. I
I
think
think Villa even
Brian
more
can
so.
cope with it because they've got so much depth. Because
Yeah, I think
they are
Villa are going to be
moneyballing the crap out of football at the moment. They've got so much young players on the bench. There's going to be some gun in that Brighton squad that we won't find out about till next year, and we'll be like, how do we not know that about him?
It'll be
I don't
Alfredo
know.
Morelos when he signs next week.
Alfredo Morales. Really? Are you sure he's not going Shamrock Rovers or whatever that rumour was?
Mate, he's still got no club. That bloke is homeless.
So,
So,
Jimmy, you're 8-1.
You're my 8-1, right? 8th, Brighton. 7th, Spurs. But I've already said I think Ange could have a good season, so that one could move. 6th, Newcastle. 5th, Chelsea. 4th, United. 3rd, I'm looking at it now. I'm not sure. My 2nd and 3rd, you can alternate however you want, but I've written it down as Liverpool, 2nd Arsenal, and then obviously 1st City.
So the same top three we have. The big
Yeah,
differential there being Spurs.
yeah, we've got Spurs way different. And then the
Um,
one that I've got Chelsea in and you haven't as well. That's a big differential.
so just quickly on Spurs, how much of a difference do you think Ange Postecoglou is gonna make? Because Jim, you watch a lot of Scottish football.
Yeah,
Do you think his brand of football will translate south of the border?
I see no reason why not. I also think the way that he's come into Spurs is exactly the same as he came into Celtic. They missed out on their number one target. Celtic missed out on Eddie Howe. It was exactly the same thing. And everyone said when he went to Celtic, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Laughed at them, and everyone did the same, and everyone's done the same at Tottenham. The only thing I will say is Celtic in his first season did have a slow start. He won the league in his first season, obviously, but I think up until Christmas, he'd actually had a worse season than Lennon had and got sacked the season before. So
Really?
he does need to be given time. But yeah, I think he will be a success at Tottenham.
Do you reckon his shortcomings in Europe are anything to be worried about for Spurs fans?
They're not even in Europe, are they?
Very good point. And I forgot about that. Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Welcome to the Panenka podcast where we know fuck all about football.
Panenka podcast where we say, do your research. Fez, fucking rescue us.
No, I don't think that was a bad take because long-term Spurs will want to be in Europe and they will want to have a degree of success. So I take your point. But ultimately, I think Rangers have been punching above their weight in Europe. And so Celtic's lack of success is just, I think it's the standard position for Rangers and Celtic in European football,
How did you
unfortunately.
manage to weasel your way into mentioning Rangers' European performance? How would you do it? It's like it's a
'Cause you're talking
gift,
about-
isn't it? It's a gift.
Well, because Rangers and Celtic are always going to be compared to one another, aren't they? They're going to be the standard by which the other one's compared till the end of time. So that's the only reason you think Ange hasn't had success in Europe is because compared to Rangers, I mean Celtic have been shocking for like a decade.
Oh no,
They beat Barcelona like 10 years ago. Victor Wanyama had a masterclass, and they've done fuck all since.
Fez, you're 8-1.
By 8-1, I've gone Villa in 8th, Newcastle in 7th. I don't think they will stand the longevity of being in Europa League football.
Yeah, speaking of teams struggling in Europe, that is another potential that I hadn't even considered actually. But yeah.
And then I have gone with the classic Big Six in the top 6. I've gone 6th with Chelsea. I think Pochettino is going to have a really good season there. I think 5th is going to be Tottenham Hotspur because they don't have any European football, so I think they'll be able to focus properly. I've gone Man United in 4th. I think Liverpool take 3rd. I think Arsenal and City run it very close this season, but I think Manchester City take pole position.
So the takeaway from this then is we've all got the same top 3, but we've got
Yeah.
2nd, 3rd in different orders. Arsenal, two of us have got dropping down to 3rd.
I said Liverpool 3rd, but you could take or leave Arsenal and Liverpool. It was my exact words.
Okay, so in which case we got Arsenal. We've got the same 1-2. Two of us have, and I've got Liverpool finishing ahead of Arsenal.
I guess the big thing to ask you, Fraser, is do you think Liverpool are going to compete in any way with City? Because I guess that's the big question. I guess that's where we might have differing opinions.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be close. I think City are going to run away with the league. Could Arsenal and Liverpool be close? I think it will be close, but I just think it's going to be a big adjustment playing with Kai Havertz, who's almost like a pseudo target man, whereas Jesus is more of a link-up player. And I think they will go down the route of playing Havertz up front.
I also
Whereas
think we've got
I think Liverpool's transfers fit their team far better. I think McAllister's is a brilliant signing. I think this new lad they got from Leipzig, who I'm not going to try and pronounce, also
Szoboszlai.
yeah, it fits the team like a glove.
But you've got to take into
Nunes,
consideration Liverpool had more holes to fill than Arsenal did.
yes, I think you're spot on with that. I would also say Nunes, second season in the Prem, will have his feet under him. I think he's going to have a better season.
I think he's going to have an absolute stinker.
Do you reckon?
As my Scouse friend calls him, the Uruguayan Andy Carroll. He is a shocking footballer.
But I think we've seen this a lot recently with big money signings coming to the Premier League and it taking a while to adjust to new teams.
But he just doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the system that Klopp has played his entire career.
I think he can do. I think he has the potential to, but didn't show it last year.
What, you think he can? You think he can drop into a 10 and let the wingers come inside? Because I don't think he can.
I think he can play as more of a target man. He won't drop in as a 10 as we've seen with Firmino, but I think he can do more link-up play, or can be can be the pivot between presumably Salah and I'd imagine Luis Diaz.
No, I can see that. Yeah, he links up play, but in a different way.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as fluent as Firmino has done it, or wouldn't be as fluent as Origi has done it, or even when Jota is asked to do it. But he'll do it in a he can also what he's better at than those other two options is he's a finisher.
Fair enough. And then I think the only other thing we've got differences in. I mean, Fez, where have you got Brighton in yours overall?
9th.
Okay, so just outside. So we've all got Villa and Brighton there and thereabouts. I guess the only other thing I would just want to say after we've all put Arsenal in our top 3, they're a team that's going to have to adjust to European football, and I think their fans are going to have some expectations on their return to Champions League. So it could put some pressure on the squad.
I think it will do. I think maybe that's coming to my sort of psyche a bit when I've made this sort of third place prediction.
And they've got players that haven't played Champions League at all before.
Yeah.
And Declan Rice never played Champions League. Saka may have done, but
Saka has, yes. Oh no, Saka has not. Saka's only ever played Europa.
Yeah,
Declan Rice has won a European competition.
Yeah, but Champions League is completely different.
It's all well and good doing it on a cold Tuesday night in cold Thursday night in Denmark, but he might be at the Bernabeu next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a different thing. It's a different beast altogether. But I take your point. He's got experience of knockout competitions, but all those players do.
Plus, if we look at World Cups and Euros, Declan Rice has been arguably one of the best players for England in the past 3 tournaments or 2 tournaments.
Good point. It's fair to say that he's unlikely to crumble under the pressure of Champions League football. But it is just the point that we're talking about all these other squads having to deal with European football, but they might have an adjustment period as well. But yeah, I'd put them in second, so I don't think they will have too much, but it's worth touching on.
100%. So as well as predicting the top 8 and the bottom 3, let's talk about who we think our player of the season is going to be, and indeed our young player of the season. For reference, young player of the season, we have gone for players under 23. So Fez, would you like to start us off with your player and young player of the season?
My player, and funny enough, Jim mentioned him earlier as being the Scouse Andy Carroll. I'm actually going to back him, and I'm going to go with Darwin Núñez.
And that's all we have for this week's podcast. Join us again next week. Fez, what the fuck are you on about?
That is a stinker. That is an utter. Although Fraser, you said he was going to have a good season, but how many goals do you think he's scoring next year?
There's a difference between having a good season and player of the season.
How many goals do you think he's going to score?
Enough.
And how many goals do you think Haaland's going to score? So I'm going to say Haaland's going to score more than enough. Because Nunes' direct competition in terms of Player of the Year is going to be Haaland.
Yeah, same as it was last year.
Yeah, like he'll always be compared to him. So I just can't see him having a better season than him,
Don't get
no
me
matter
wrong.
a good enough.
I think he'll do better this year, and I think he will score 20 goals, but he won't score 30. It will come down to that. He'll be good, but he will know he can't. I
But
can't see him being good enough.
well, that's why it's an opinion. You know, you've got yours, I've got mine.
Says every time you have a shocking opinion. Like when with my Brentford one, I backed it up with like things to say. Yours is just, well, it's my opinion. Like take it or leave it. You have to actually give reasons for your thoughts.
Because if you look at his play right now, obviously, I believe they've changed the offside rule, haven't they? Again, that it's only
I
any
saw
part of your
that.
body
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
side.
I wasn't quite sure how they changed it, but
I reckon.
you're
I
basically
reckon,
banking on him being onside on more occasions.
yeah, and I reckon he scores a lot more goals because he is. I think naturally he's got good ability.
Yeah, I
As long
agree.
as he's not being
Last
asked to
season,
score goals.
but you look at last season, right, and he wasn't horrendous. However, he did average in a shite Liverpool squad last season.
But was it shite? He was
Realistically,
shite.
he
If you
can't
stick
be shite.
Haaland in that Liverpool squad, they don't have a bad season last season.
Well, you say that though, but injuries affected them massively.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just saying, but my point is that for Nunes to win Player of the Season, not only does he have to have a really good season, Haaland would have to drop off considerably because they're always going to be compared like for like when one's up for winning Player of the Year. It's like Harry Kane. Harry Kane can never win Player of the Year with a 20-goal season if Haaland's scoring 30 goals. Because like, how can he
Yeah.
be Player of the Year? Unless he's also putting up like 20 assists as well, which for Kane probably could, but I can't see Nunes doing that.
Well, he scored 9 goals last season. I know it's not the 36 of Haaland, but I
So
don't know.
you
No,
It's
reckon
going
he's
to be a tight.
It's a third. It's a third of what for every goal
no,
for every
Jim? It's
goal Nunes
worse. It's a
scored, Haaland
quarter.
had to.
It's a quarter, Jim.
Fucking hell, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
So
This is the worst take
I
ever.
agree with you. Fez, I agree with you 100%. He's going to have a better season. The offside ball's going to benefit him, and Liverpool will be a better team. He's not going to bridge the gap to Haaland, though.
Okay then. Right. Well, will you tell me your player of the season then? Because I know you're both going to be boring and pick.
Mate, can I just get mine out of the
Haaland.
way? Because mine's really boring. Both of them are really boring.
Oh, sorry, Fez. You're a young player of the season as well.
Oh, Brighton's Ivan Ferguson.
Yeah, I'll
Not a
take that.
That's quite good, actually. So do you see
That's
him?
niche enough. That's niche enough. But I mean, it's more likely that it will go to a player in a top six side. But yeah, I take it.
So do you think he's going to lead the line for Brighton all year then?
I think he'll have more game time this season than he did last.
So
I think he's sort of proven himself a little bit more.
how
Got
how
a
do you
bit of
see
game under his belt,
how do you see
and
the
especially
signing
with
of João
squad
Pedro affecting
rotation with them
things?
being in Europe. I think they'll complement each other.
So you think that Brighton are going to play a two up top and they're not going to play with Danny Welbeck?
Fez,
No,
how many teams are changing their entire play style next season?
I think Evan Ferguson's a good shout. I do really think it's a good shout. As a ones watch, and I think he will make an impact. Do you reckon it's too early though? He's still only
no,
19, isn't he?
yeah, but I just think the squad rotation at Brighton, having now playing in Europa League, I think they're going to have to rotate that squad more often.
Wouldn't that be a negative?
No, because I think he'll play more Premier League, and because I think they'll focus on Europa League.
That's fair point. Fair point.
If they're focusing on Europa League, he's going to be playing more games in the Premier League. I'll take that, but he's going to be playing in a weakened side.
I like it as a pick. It depends.
Potentially,
I like it as a pick. I think it's maybe slightly out there, but actually it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And I think he will definitely
my
be
Darwin Núñez.
one with a good season. Yeah, unlike Nunes one, which the less said about the better. But then again, maybe we look back on this in 52 weeks' time or 30 weeks' time. Me and Jim look like idiots. So
I cannot see that happening. I
well,
will drink a pint of mouthwash if that happens. If Nunes wins Player of the Season next season, I will drink a pint of mouthwash.
And we have that
Right,
on record. So Jimmy Bowie, your Player of the Season and your Young Player of the Season.
Right, this is really unbelievably boring. Player of the Season, De Bruyne. Young Player of the Season, Haaland. Bosh.
Yeah.
Get some personality, mate.
Get a personality.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to be right.
So De Bruyne.
You're silent because you've got nothing to say because you know that is more than likely what's going to happen.
I don't think. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is actually going to do that well this season.
Oh, shut up! Stop talking.
Is your argument for this just shut up?
I don't think he does. Because he sort of dipped towards the end of last season.
I think
obviously Champions League, he had a big injury. He's now reaching 31, 32.
No, actually, I'm now. The more you're saying, the more I'm taking your point. I still think he'll have a good season.
You have a good season, but will he win Player of the Season?
I don't think he won't be like horrendously. He's not going to be shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top performers in the Prem next season.
No, I'm not saying that, but I don't think he'll be good enough at the age of 32 to keep playing the way how Guardiola wants him to play.
I think he'll have more goal involvements at the end of next season than Darwin Núñez.
What I would say to De Bruyne as your Player of the Season pick is, will others in the team overshadow him?
Nope.
So we're going to my Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season. Also, on the point of touchy point on bit nitpicky with Haaland, we asked for under 23s. He will be 23.
He is born. What's his birthday?
July 21st, 2000.
Oh, he turns 23 tomorrow.
I know.
I just looked at his age.
Technically though, the season started because it starts on the 1st of July.
Would he qualify to play in an under 23 World Cup right now?
He would do. Yeah, he would do. He beats the cut-off by 20 days, I believe, to play in the under 23 World Cup. So he does count.
So I say he can win Young Player of the Year next season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
FA can say whatever they want. I back him.
That's absolutely fair enough. So I suppose it's down to me to do my Player of the Season and indeed Young Player of the Season. Player of the Season, I don't think it come as a surprise to many people. Erling Haaland. A Young Player of the Season. He's been slated earlier, described as a flop, but he's Arsenal's best player in my opinion. It's got to be Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I back that. I back it 100%. I don't know what Bez was chatting about. I think I can't believe Fez is. I'm speechless. I am fucking speechless.
I've said it for a long time that Saka isn't actually as good as people make out.
What game of football are you? He's been one of England's best players since the fucking Euros.
Okay, who have he played since the Euros that he's actually done something look good?
City, United, Chelsea, Tottenham.
No. I'm talking. What did he do in the World Cup?
He beat Iran.
Great.
Well, okay, but he plays. The World Cup is such a small sample size for the amount of games Bukayo Saka plays. He just is such a forward. He's like Edozie on steroids.
We cannot stop. We cannot use this podcast as a platform to compare world-class players to bang-average Southampton players.
Do not speak about Samuel Edozie like that. He was criminally underrated next season, and he's going to be a breakout star in the Championship.
What's next? Is Bukayo Saka just a slightly younger Ryan Kent, is he?
No, Ryan Kent fell off. He's moved to Turkey at the age of like 24. What a flop.
I did see that, yeah. So, so you've had your rebuttal on Saka, Fez, Haaland. I think we've talked about Haaland already on the pod. What are the reasons behind none of you putting him as your player, retaining his title as player of the season?
I just think he's going to get young player of the season.
No, I think realistically he probably will win it.
Well, I thought you thought Nunes was going to outscore him.
Realistically,
I never said
win
he'll
it.
outscore him. I didn't say he'll outscore him. I just said he'll win it because he'll be.
Oh, because everyone else will be wrong, but Nunes will have a better season.
Just to be absolutely crystal clear, Haaland is your banker for fantasy football, but Darwin Núñez will win player of the season.
Yeah, because I reckon he'll surprise people. You two included.
No,
But-
I think
but,
you're getting confused between player of the season and most improved.
But
Because if you're saying Nunes is most improved, I'd back it.
if
but I
player of
just
the season
cannot
was done on
see him.
surprises, then Dynamo win every year.
That was a shocking line. That took me.
That
a
was
second.
horrendous. You deserve to be in the bin for that. It's outrageous from you.
I was thinking of Dynamo. I was trying to think of some like 30-year-old Brazilian central midfielder.
I was going for Magician, mate.
No, I
was-
know. I was like scouring my brain. I was thinking, who's he playing
Oh,
for? Villa? Who's
who-
he?
who's-
my player of the season, I'll pick Gully fucking Prado then.
Doesn't count, mate. He's retired. Good. Sorry. Dynamo, not a great reference. Who else do you name as Magician?
No, it is good. I would have said Houdini myself. He was more of an escape, whatever the word is. But
That's a good point,
I
actually.
could say that.
Could have gone Houdini, but yeah, never had a Premier League minute.
Fuck off. He was before the Premier League era.
He was, mate. Pre 1992. He doesn't count.
Football didn't start in 1992, mate. Right, should we move on to the next segment?
Yeah, I think we've comprehensively covered. I'm going to say it now. Predicted the Premier League for the end of the season. We will come back to these mid-season.
Me drinking a pint of mouthwash.
Yeah, to Jimmy Bowie downing a pint of mouthwash when Darwin Núñez lifts player of the season.
What are the health ramifications of drinking a pint of mouthwash?
Probably not advised, mate.
Oh, and the worst thing is, Jim, it's inevitability because he's going to win it. But don't you dare play in your fantasy team.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're going to put Núñez in your fantasy team, Fez.
You have to now. You have to.
Have to.
And he stays in my team. That's it.
Oh, it'll be 5 in a row for me now, won't it?
Right, so Fraser,
That's all for this week, guys. Thanks. Come back.
Do you
Someone else want to do one?
I'll do one. Fraser, you do one first.
I think that's all we've got time for this week. I won't bother tuning next week,
about the,
but we'll be back.
I think I'll be. If we release this on the internet, I think I get cancelled for at least one of my comments.
I think we can very much put this down as a trial.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to do mine. Thanks for listening. Come back next week because we'll be here. You probably won't be. All the best.